Second thing, I know you're an advocate of nuclear power. One of the issues in this state has been, one of the issues nationally, but particularly in this state, is the waste. I mean, not only from my point of view do we not have a good national plan, I don't think the federal government has really done a good job of managing the waste here. And at least for some of us in this state, we'd like to see that get taken care of before we create more of it. Third thing, real quickly, along the lines of Doug and cap and trade.
Yes.
Exactly, Hanford. Is there's a concern that because so much of our electricity is hydropower, which doesn't emit carbon, that a cap and trade system will penalize us, kind of along the lines Doug was talking about on the forestry.
Well, it seems to me that that's an area where you earn credits, but again, so part of it goes back to the issue that Doug raised, and where's the starting point?
Right, exactly, exactly.
And I think that that obviously would have to be adjusted for a state that makes use of hydro and many of other sources that are, and have already made significant advances in some of the new technologies we're going to have to employ. Maybe making the mass transportation green would be one of the ways to address that issue. I think that there's some cities where there is some progress being made in that area.
And certainly that is something that I think we all need to get better at doing.
But let me just say again on nuclear power, Bruce, look, why is it that European countries have come up with solutions that the people generally approve of, that they've been able to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, that in the case of the French, 80% of their electricity is generated by nuclear power. Now, they reprocess. I think, frankly, we have to do both. I understand the controversy surrounding Hanford, and I don't know how many billions we have spent already trying to clean it up, but it's staggering, and we have a whole lot more to do. In fact, we've found out, I think, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, we have a whole lot more to do than we thought we had to do at the beginning of the exercise.
And we don't really even know how to do it right now. We're running into problems that way.
We simply don't have the capability, or certainly not anything that's affordable. So all I'm saying is that if other countries are able to make use of nuclear power, address the issue of spent nuclear fuel, then I don't know why the United States of America can't. And again, we've sailed ships around the world for 60 years. Some of them have come in to this state, and we've never had a problem. We've never had a nuclear accident. We had a nuclear submarine sink once, as I recall, but it didn't have anything to do with the power plant on it. So it just seems to me that we ought to be able as a nation to address the issues of transportation of the spent nuclear fuel, the storage of it, whether we're going to reprocess and take advantage of new technologies which are available, which the Europeans and others are using now as regard to nuclear powers, which reduce the amount of spent nuclear fuel, which make it a lot easier to reprocess, and a lot of those things. But again, if we're either going to build those plants or we're going to build coal-fired plants. I'm all for clean coal technology. I think it's wonderful. Right now it's too expensive if you look at the amount of money. But I have confidence over time that this technology will become less expensive, and clean coal technology, we're sitting on the world's largest supply of coal, so it has to be the highest priority. In the meantime, I don't think we can afford, or should we lay on future generation of Americans an increase in greenhouse gas emissions, which I think the debate goes on, but I think the evidence is on our side of the argument.